All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to talk about AI assistants, but we're going to completely rethink how we use them. We're moving way beyond just thinking about them as simple folders for organizing stuff. It's time to unlock a much more powerful way to work with them by creating what I call different modes of intelligence.
So, have you ever had this happen? You ask your super smart AI assistant a question, and it gives you this perfectly logical, well-reasoned answer that is just completely and totally wrong for your actual situation. Yeah, you're not alone. It's that moment, right? When this incredibly powerful tool gives you advice that just has no bearing on your real life. So frustrating.
You know, the root of the problem is something called context collapse. It's a fancy term, but all it means is that your AI is treating your entire life, your work, your personal stuff, your side hustles, as one giant messy pile of data. It doesn't have situational awareness, so it just spits out one-size-fits-all advice. What we actually need is an assistant that gets it. One that knows the difference between when you're in work mode versus when you're in personal mode.
Okay, to make this idea really clear, we're going to run a little experiment. It's super simple. We're going to ask the exact same pretty high-stakes question to our AI, but we're going to ask it inside 3 totally different contexts, or what we're going to call spaces. And here is our question. It's a big one, something a lot of us have probably asked ourselves. Should I take on this big new project? Now, on the surface, it sounds like a simple yes or no, right? But as you're about to see, the right answer changes completely depending on the context. So first up, we ask the question inside our workspace. Now, this space is only connected to our work stuff, work email, work calendar, all our project files. So naturally, the AI's answer is 100% professional. It looks at the Q4 goals, it analyzes your current pipeline, and it comes back and says, yep, this is a fantastic strategic move, go for it.
Okay, now watch this. We ask the exact same question word for word, but this time we do it from our personal space. Because this space only has access to our personal calendar and our life priorities, the answer does a complete 180. It's like, whoa, hold on a second. It immediately flags a direct conflict with your family vacation and points out that you'll be working weekends during your anniversary. See? What was great professional advice a second ago would have been a personal disaster.
And for our last test, we asked the question in what we call our Chief of Staff space. Now, this is the one that integrates both our work and our personal accounts. And this is where the magic really happens. The AI sees both sides. It says, look, professionally, this is a great move, but it also sees the personal cost and gives a truly strategic recommendation. You should negotiate the start date.
So there it is. One question, 3 totally different answers. We got a strategic yes, a really strong cautionary no, and then a negotiated yes but. And here is the most important part. None of those answers were wrong. Each one was perfectly intelligent, perfectly appropriate for the context it was in.
And that brings us to the single biggest idea I want you to take away today. It requires a bit of a mental shift. We have to stop thinking of spaces as just folders. They're not for organizing files. They are fundamentally different. Spaces are intelligence modes for your AI. Each one puts up a little boundary, telling your assistant which hat it needs to wear for the job.
Let's just put an official pin in that definition. A space is a context boundary. Simple as that. It's a set of rules that you give your AI, telling it exactly which knowledge, which tools, and which accounts it's allowed to look at when it's helping you. It's how you give your AI that common sense it was missing before.
So, you're probably wondering, okay, how does this all work behind the scenes? It's not magic, I promise. It's a feature called multi-account connectors. This is the engine under the hood that lets you tell each space exactly where it should be getting its information.
And when you see it laid out like this, it's actually incredibly simple. You just connect your different accounts, right? Like your work Google account and your personal Gmail account. Then you just point each space to the right account. The workspace only gets to see work.com. The personal space only sees gmail.com. And the chief of staff gets to see both. And just like that, the system has separate sources of truth for every context.
And the best part is you can set this whole thing up yourself in like 3 easy steps. First, just pop into your settings and connect your different accounts. Second, create the spaces you need. Think of them as your main life context. And third, just associate the right account with each space. And that's it. You've literally just created distinct intelligence modes for your AI.
If you're wondering where to start, honestly, the best way to jump in is with these 3 essential spaces. A workspace for everything professional, a personal space for, family, life, hobbies, and then that really important chief of staff space that gives you that big picture, holistic view we saw in our experiment.
So, now it's your turn. By setting up these different intelligence modes, you're really unlocking a whole new level of partnership with your AI. So think about it. What's a big decision you're wrestling with right now? What's the first strategic question you are going to ask in 3 different ways?